all these are important questions, multiple type questions based on neoclassicism. Okay, the very first question is, the representative poet of neoclassical age is. Who is the representative poet? Okay, representative poet of which era? Neoclassical era, and it is Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope is the representative poet because he represents neoclassical age very well in his composition. Then the next important question is, who wrote the essay on criticism? Though the title of this poem is essay, but in reality it is not an essay, it is a poem, and the title of that poem is Essay on Criticism, and it was composed by Alexander Pope. Then the next important question is the Rape of the Lock. The Rape of the Lock, it was also composed by Alexander Pope, and it is a very well known epic. But what kind of epic? It is a mock epic. So the Rape of the Lock, it is a mock heroic poem, or it is a mock epic. Then the next one is, all these are not important question. Then the next one is 14th. Okay, this line is also related to essay on criticism. The proper study of mankind is man. Who said this? The proper study of mankind is man. It is said by Alexander Pope in the essay on criticism. Then the next one is 17th one, and then 16th one. Pope, Alexander Pope, Pope's age is called as neoclassical age because Alexander Pope, he was a neoclassicist and he represented very well his age, neoclassical age. So Pope's age is also called as neoclassical age. Then the next one is, who said neoclassical age was an age of prose and reason? Okay, an age of prose and reason. It was said by Matthew Arnold that neoclassical age is an age of was an age of prose and reason. Matthew Arnold was a Victorian poet and he said so. Then the next one is, who has been called as the father of modern English prose? The father of modern English prose, who has been called? Okay, and it was John Dryden. John Dryden has been called the father of modern English prose. Then the next one is, by Homer's work. By Homer's work you study and delight, read them by day, that is read them by day and meditate by night. By Homer's work you study and night. Okay, you study and night, read them by day and meditate by night. So it is Homer's work that we study always with very delight, and we can read them, or we read them day and night. So it was said by Alexander Pope. If Pope be not a poet, where is poetry to be found? Who said this? That if Pope be not a poet, where is poetry to be found? It was said by Dr. Samuel Johnson, and this line is also very famous line. It is always asked in the exam. What oft was thought but never so well expressed? It is said by Alexander Pope. Oft was thought but never well expressed. The Rape of the Lock, it was composed by Alexander Pope. The neoclassical followers revolted against John Donne. Okay, the neoclassical followers, they revolted against whom? Against John Donne. John Donne, he was a metaphysical poet. Then the next question is 31st. The neoclassicist gave an exact reproduction of that is, okay, all these are the options, and then the answer will be here. Everyday life and manners. The neoclassicist gave an exact reproduction of everyday life and manners. 32 question is, balance between fancy and judgment. Balance between fancy and judgment. was to be maintained, the head must predominate over the heart. These lines are fit for classical school. Classical school balance between fancy and judgment. The head must predominate over the heart. Then it is poetic justice. What must be maintained? Poetic justice. Okay, poetic justice must be maintained by rewarding virtue and punishing vice. So if we reward virtue and we punish vice, that is called poetic justice. The 18th century movement is known by the title, okay, the 18th century movement or the 18th century, it is also known by as classical age, Augustan age, age of reason and good sense or age of reason and prose. Then the next one is, for the first time Dryden and Pope met where? For the first time Dryden and Pope met at a coffee house, at a coffee house. The next one is, the first version of The Rape of the Lock was published in which year? It was published, the first version of The Rape of the Lock, it was first published in 1712. The Rape of the Lock gives a satirical picture of what? The Rape of the Lock, it gives a satirical picture. Or we can say that it presents a satirical picture of contemporary life, okay, contemporary life. The important works of Jonathan Swift. So these are the important works of Jonathan Swift: A Tale of the Tub, The Battle of Books and Gulliver's Travels. All these are the literary works of Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift's literary fame generally rests on which one? Okay, that is Gulliver's Travels. Swift's literary fame rests on Gulliver's Travels. Sir Roger de Coverley, you have heard the name of Sir Roger de Coverley, and who was Sir Roger de Coverley? Actually he is a character in the Spectator, written by Addison and Steele in collaboration with each other. Addison is the prominent figure of neoclassical age. Addison is the prominent figure of which era? Neoclassical era, and he is the greatest master of periodical essay. Okay, Addison is the greatest master of periodical essay. Now, the aim of Steele's essays was frankly didactic. What was the main aim of Steele's essays? It was didactic, to give instruction, to give message, or that is to convey any moral kind of instruction. So the aim of Steele's essay was didactic. The Tatler and the Spectator form the part of periodical essay. The Tatler and the Spectator, Addison and Steele, and it form the part of periodical essay. Sir Roger Steele's essays on children. Sir Roger Steele's essays on children are charming and are full of human sympathy. Daniel Defoe, okay, Daniel Defoe, his best work is supposed to be Robinson Crusoe. So Daniel Defoe's masterpiece is Robinson Crusoe. Then the next one is the neoclassical age is also known as the age of reason and prose. Okay, the age of reason and prose. Then next important question is 61. The best medium for realizing the poetic ideals of neoclassical time proved to be the heroic couplet. Okay, that was the best medium for realizing the poetic ideals, the heroic couplet. Our admirable and indispensable 18th century. It is spoken by Matthew Arnold that 18th century is admirable and indispensable. The popularity of coffee houses gave rise to the vices of drinking and gambling. The politicians of neoclassical age were corrupt, and unprincipled. Okay, the politicians of neoclassical age were corrupt and unprincipled. Then the next one is whose age? Whose age is classical age in English literature? It is Dryden's. It is Dryden's age. Dryden's age is classical age in English literature. Then the next one is what did the revolt of neoclassical poets lead to? The revolt of neoclassical poets lead to correctness. Okay. The revolt of neoclassical poets lead to correctness. Then another question is there was repression. There was repression of what? Emotion. There was repression of emotion in neoclassical literature. Who employed satire as a tool of correctness? Satire as a tool of correctness and a good moral order. They were neoclassicists. Okay, neoclassicists employed satire as a tool of correctness and a good moral order. So all these were important questions.